What's up, gamers? This is YuBan with a Mechabellum replay analysis. Today we are going to highlight some key defensive concepts and also touch on the power of early game tempo and how to utilize the tempo to turn the game around. Our opponent is none other than RoosterPB, our favorite YouTuber and Mechabellum streamer. So in this game we're starting with Sabertooth spec with sledgehammers and arc lights. I was hoping to play a standard sledgehammer carry game against Rooster, seeing that he also was running sledgehammer and Fang. Thinking there's no way he's playing aggro with the starting pack, is he? So let's see. Rooster decided to go for Void Eye opening and indeed went for a aggro asymmetrical push positioning with his sledgehammer and fangs. I think Void Eyes against sledgehammer and arc light opening is absolutely devastating. It's such a strong unit, essentially killing the sledgehammers in 3 to 4 shots with some sledgehammer help. And there's 3 units per pack, meaning that they can make quick work of these medium-sized units. So let's see how this first round turns out. Oh, and Rooster grabbing a last-minute energy absorption. So at this point, I had to switch gear. I went from wanting to play a very aggressive style of standard game, a style I'm very familiar with, to a defensive game against sledgehammers, which I typically never have to do unless it's against Woot. So let's see how it goes. So with the asym push, having all the army on one side, Rooster was able to take this first round and chipping away at our health pool. Round 2 reinforcement, recognizing that this is now a game of tempo, I cannot let his units get too many levels, and I need to preserve my HP. I decided to grab the Wasp Swarm and putting it in the back corner. So I didn't put it dead center because if you put it dead center, it can be shut down by 2 packs of Fang. Versus if you put it in the corner here, the Wasp Swarm still beats 1 pack of Fang unupgraded by just about 2 to 3 Wasp surviving. So with this spell here, we decided to pick up 2 Fangs behind the tower for some late arriving chaff and also respecting the possibility of the Wasp Swarm landing on our side. Even though it won't counter the entire spell, it's going to delay the spell, delay the tower debuff, and significantly reducing the attack power of this spell by reducing it down to just 1 to 2 wasp. From there, we additionally recruited and get an arc light on the side here. So I like to position my arc light right behind the tower that I'm defending, so it has a priority targeting for the backside and doesn't get pulled from the front to the back to defend the deep flank later on. I like to space it out around 5 to 6 spaces from the side here, so I can still put some meaningful chaff and tanks in case our opponent goes hard on the flanking. So in this case, we both went for the aggro Wasp Swarm. Rooster went for the alternative defense against the spell, which is putting corner crawlers so to make our Wasp follow the crawlers all the way forward. So as you can see here, we are left with 1 wasp targeting the tower, while Rooster is left with 2 wasps surviving. So if all goes well, if we can kill these 2 wasps, we should just win this round by default. So our wasps turned around, we got the early tower debuff. However, that didn't seem to do too much. So with our wasps surviving, marksmen shooting away, we're able to reclaim the game by taking second round. Round 3 reinforcement. With the unit drop, I already had Arclights, so I don't need Fire Badgers. Rhino is a little bit weak when level 3 Phoenix and level 2 Scorpions are offered. And in this case, I went for the level 2 Scorpions because thinking we already had air DPS in the forms of 2 marksmen, and these sledgehammers, especially with the potential level, I'm going to need some kind of splash DPS to deal with them. So grabbing the level 2 Scorpion, putting it right next to the tower to protect the tower, and also lined up right in front of the level 2 sledgehammers. With the remaining money, we got more chaff, 1 crawler behind the tower to distract whatever comes our way to protect our Arclights and sledgehammers, and then grabbing another Arclight to target and defend against this late arriving set of crawlers. Because we have so much money left over, we're able to grab a round 3 range enhancement. And you can see that this early range is just doing wonders for our chaff clear ability. Especially on the same round that Rooster grabbed 2 packs of level 1 Mustangs with no upgrades. So with that, we're able to secure this round 3 quite convincingly with a lot of units left over. I think this is easily over 1,000 damage. Look at that. So taking round 2, round 3, we're starting to establish a little bit of tempo. And here I'm thinking, I already teched. I don't want efficient tech research. My unit positioning is pretty solid. I don't need to do any cheesy plays trying to debuff opponent's tower. So let's grab an EM impact, knowing that it's most likely going to come back later on in the game when the rounds are really going to matter. From here, we grab 1 pack of Stormcaller, putting a pack of Fang right in front of it to screen for any sentry missile. As this positioning, we are super vulnerable to losing 500, 600 worth of supply to 1 missile. And from here, just getting a few more packs of chaff to protect the Arclights and to screen in front of our tower. Recognizing Rooster still hasn't gotten any meaningful or purposeful chaff clear units besides the Mustangs. And Mustangs just have such a hard time dealing with crawlers. So we went for the EM impact and the oil play. This is this is literally the best tool for a defender to use. So I like to get a oil spell down before round 3 to round 4, with the same idea that when it comes back later on in round 7 or round 8, it's even more powerful. And this is another reason why we put down the Stormcaller. Stormcaller with oil on the same turn is super powerful by bogging down the opponent's units all in clumps. And then later on, we can set the oil on fire if we recognize that we have a chaff clear problem. Which, when you look at our opponent's board, it's a lot of chaff. This is a very solid setup of 4 layers of chaff, of mixed kind of chaff as well. So we have to respect. So EM Blast, hitting the Mustangs with range, disabling them, pulling them forward to the same range as the Scorpion. And this is going to allow our Stormcaller to just shoot away at all these units that are clumped up. Meanwhile, our level 2 Scorpion was able to take down the level 1 Scorpion, leaving this level 2 Scorpion to farm for experience for the rest of the units. So another convincing round, but recognizing this is an oil turn, this is a surprise play that gives us a huge advantage. So round 5 reinforcement, big spells, big upgrades, not really anything we're looking for in round 5. So here, recognizing opponent is going hard into a traditional comp of Scorpion Mustang, and I didn't want to compete with him by getting ranged Scorpion of our own, so we decided to go for one of the strongest counter against Scorpion Mustang, the Abyss. So we sold out of the level 2 Scorpion, get the Abyss. Because it's round 5, we're getting efficient maintenance, so we don't pay any upkeep, and we can afford to grab more and more of them as the rounds go on. From here, we just level some of the units, getting more chaff from the back, and hope our opponent doesn't have any Phoenix or meaningful anti-air DPS. And seems like we are pretty clear in this Abyss pivot here. Even though we're going to get tower debuffed on the right side by Rooster, these level 1 Mustangs simply won't do enough damage to kill our Abyss. And you can see the reason why the Abyss is such a natural counter to Scorpion Mustang is because these two, Mustang and Scorpions, essentially have the same range when they're both upgraded. So they line up next to each other and stack on top of each other perfectly, allowing the Abyss horizontal shot to take them both out. And even though Mustangs are great anti-air units, the Abyss simply has way too much health points for it to do enough damage in time. Okay, round 6 unit reinforcement. I was really sad when I saw unit reinforcement offering 2 level 2 Phoenix, because that is such a strong counter. Phoenix with range and charge shot absolutely delete Abyss. On another hand, Wasp with shields or Wasp with AA can also do okay against the Abyss if they manage to spread out and chaff clear soon enough. So being confused as heck as to what to take, I picked up the level 3 Wraith, thinking that, hey, at least I'm going to protect myself against the Wasp. Against the Phoenix, we still have some marksmen, and maybe our Abyss can target the Phoenix early on enough to take them out before they can do any damage. Alternatively, we could have gone for Fortress and go for a anti-air barrage, but against high-level ranged Scorpions, I just didn't think our fortresses would stay alive for long enough. Okay, so Rooster finally decided to pick up the level 2 Phoenix, picking range and charge shot in the last second. For us, we went for Wraith on the side here to help us protect the flank in case there's extra crawlers here trying to distract the Abyss. And then we went for a far corner Abyss on the opposite side, recognizing that this is turning into more of a symmetrical push. And then because the backside of Rooster is all covered by Mustangs, our wasp swarm is going to be useless. So we just decided to put it back here for some late arriving chaff, hoping to screen some Phoenix shots if he does take it. And you can see here, Rooster's running out of time, floating 500 supplies on round 6, getting one last Phoenix with the double tech. And for now, we have our swarm missiles taking action, helping us with chaff clear. And this missile tech just does so well against the Mustangs, as you can see here and here. Basically deleting the Mustangs from the ground, allowing the Abyss to focus on the Scorpions and hopefully later on the air units. So crazy. Even though Rooster floated 500 supplies, with the addition of these level 2 Phoenix with double tech, he just obliterated our Abyss. Round 7, we both immediately picked up the Ion Blast, recognizing that we can get some huge value. If I can delete these Phoenix, then he has nothing else to deal with the Abyss. So targeting right in front of the Phoenix on where it goes. However, Rooster, being the pro he is, immediately went for a mobile beacon to the side to avoid the Ion Blast entirely. For us, we sold out of the level 3 Wraith, and from here I'm thinking, hey, we still have 3000 HP left over. We're not going to get one-shotted. We have 1 to 2 more rounds in us. Let's see what he does for his next move. Utilizing our early game tempo, we just grabbed one more Abyss, leveled our towers, get some more chaff, and decided to just see how it goes. I want to be more reactive in this case, especially on a round where a big spell is coming. This could go either way. This could be amazing for us, or it could be devastating in this case, like this case here. So we decided to use the EM impact that came back on the right side, thinking the left side is going to die due to the Ion Blast, so let's weaken this right side here. And here, Rooster decided to go for the loose formation crawler tech, which is phenomenal against everything I have, especially for somebody who is relying heavily on Arclight for chaff clear. You can see we are still shooting at crawlers at this stage of the round. So level 2 Abyss on the side just got deleted, and then so did the rest of our Abyss army by these really strong double tech Phoenix. Round 8, reinforcement. We are looking at pretty much none of these. We are no threat of getting EMP'd, so we don't need any kind of photon emission or coating. We're not doing any headbutt attack, so the photon will be running out before it becomes meaningful. And I was pretty happy with our positioning here. So, recognizing we are weak in the chaff clear department, we went for triple recruitment of level 2 Mustangs with range. And then this is what I was talking about. Putting the oil down on round 4, we got it back on a very, very crucial round of round 8. Because last time I put it here, this time I decided to put it on the other side, slowing down this push a little bit, hoping that the Phoenix can come forward while the ground units are stuck behind, so we can target them a little bit easier. From here, with our triple recruitment, we have no more recruits, so we just wanted to missile out some of the chaff in the front so the swarm missiles don't get wasted on these weak units. Opponent went for triple recruitment of Shielded Wasp. I think this is typically a very strong play against what we have, because it's just another form of chaff that we don't have an answer to. However, because the opponent went for loose formation crawler, we were kind of forced to either go fire or mustangs to counter the chaff clear problem. So we, in a sense, we got a little lucky by getting the crawlers, because it kind of essentially countered both the wasp and the crawlers. So let's see how our level 2 mustangs do in terms of the chaff clear department. Okay, you can see that chaff clear issue way better, and these level 1 shielded wasp are just got instantly deleted, allowing our all 3 of our wraith to stay alive while killing all of the scorpions on the board. And with only Phoenix left on the board, and we still have a few mustangs on the board, I believe that is going to be game. So to review this game, some of the concepts we're trying to talk about here. Number 1, defensive formation. When defending with arc lights, I like to have minimum of 5 arc lights in a straight line. I like the flank defense arc lights slightly back, just so they have a better time clearing the deep flank units without having to walk back and waste time. I like to have at least 1 to 2 packs of late arriving fangs behind the towers as a second layer of chaff behind after the crawlers. And then from here, we're not over investing in the chaff, because our opponent just has so many units that can delete chaff. Even though scorpions are DPS units, they still destroy underground crawlers fairly quickly. From here, in terms of defense, we grabbed early spells with the hopes of them coming back, and then we utilize oil on round 3 or round 4 with the hopes of it coming back later on. And also the oil can give us the 2 rounds of early game tempo that we need. With that tempo, we were able to pivot out of our level 2 Scorpion to get into a Abyss, which is a strong counter to our opponent's composition. So we were able to wait long enough to see our opponent's intention before committing to a good unit, instead of just guessing or getting countered the other way. And because our opponent got Phoenixes with charge shot, we ended up losing our advantage of the Abyss anyway. However, because we have so much leftover HP in those mid rounds when we were losing to the Phoenix, we were able to wait it out until our opponent went for a tech like loose formation, or maybe he would have gone for underground blitz, then would have gone something else. So we're able to see our opponent's hand once again before making a strong counter, in this case in the form of Mustangs. And that utilization of the tempo and being patient was able to allow us to turn the game around from the mid game, and then essentially flipping the switch in 1 round at the end. So that's our exciting defensive game against Rooster. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.